battlefield.
Welcome to Northwest Public Television. We're taking a brief break in the Civil War. You're not missing any of the program, but we are stopping the tape for a little bit to ask you for your financial support. This is our spring membership drive. This is the springtime that we come to you and ask for your financial support. We need you to go to your phone right now, call the toll-free number you're seeing on your screen, and give us a call here at Northwest Public Television. We'd like to hear from 10 of you before we go back to the conclusion of tonight's episode of the Civil War. So please, you become the first person to help us meet our goal. 1-800-922-4220. We've got great volunteers here from Washington Water Power who are showing their support by coming in tonight to Northwest Public TV studio to take your pledge. So pledge at whatever level you can afford, but the important thing is that you take the time right now and call. We have one person already on the phone. We need to hear from 9 more of you to make our goal this break. 1-800-922-4220. Please show your support. It's important that you give at whatever level you can afford. We do keep track of when the calls come in, so if you're a Civil War fan here on PBS, then you should be calling right now. We'll tally up when the calls come in, and that's a way of you letting us know what's important to you by taking the time to call Northwest Public Television. The volunteers are great. If you've never done it before, I encourage you to call them, and they'll ask you a few questions. How much you want to pledge is one of them. Also, your name and your address, how you want to pay your pledge, and if you want any of the special thank you gifts that we are offering throughout this drive. But the important thing is that you take 95 seconds of your evening and call in and pledge your support, knowing you've done your part for public TV here in the Inland Northwest. Take the time to do that now. We are counting on you, each and every one of you that watches us, to take the time and call us here at Northwest Public Television. 1-800-922-4220. It's really very easy. If you choose to charge your pledge, please bring your MasterCard or Visa with you to the telephone. We will need the numbers and the expiration date from the card when you call, and of course the name on the card. But the important thing is that you begin the process with a telephone call. We have a line open here at 1-800-922-4220, so please give us a call right now. One of the questions that we ask you when you call in is if we can thank you on the air, if we can mention you by your name or your town, and that's something important. We want to give you a chance to let us thank you. We would like to mention you. We have this map here where I'm standing so we can show where the cities are where we have donors to Northwest Public Television. So if you want us to, we'd be glad to thank you on the air. If you're feeling kind of shy tonight, we'll respect your wishes. That's definitely why we ask you if we can thank you when you call in your pledge. But the important thing is you give us a call right now here at Northwest Public Television, 1-800-922-4220. Give us a call here at Northwest Public TV. Now, through the magic of videotape, we have someone else to offer some important advice for you. Listen.
Unless you care about it, it's just wires in a box. Edward R. Murrow said that about television in general. It has special meaning, though, for public television. Without people who care enough to make public TV financially successful, we're nothing. Just technology. Public television is different because you make it different. You care. And that caring brings a new dimension to what you see on the screen. There are more program services on television today than ever before, and yet public television remains unique because in public television, it's not just the people on this side of the picture that make a difference, but you on that side of the picture. It is your caring that makes all of this more than just wires in a box.
Well, thanks. We heard a word from Mr. Perkins, who was talking about Ed Murrow, who once lived and worked in our coverage area here, and in fact at our very operation here at one time. And I'm sure if he were still around, he'd figure out a way to pledge his support. We hope you will too. 1-800-922-4220. I would like to thank the people who called in previously this evening. From Pullman, we've had Myra Smart and Grant Harris. From Kennewick, Dave Peters and Dr. Michael and Nancy Cummings. And from Richland, Scott Luke. And from Genesee, Wendell Hagan. Thank you all very much for pledging your support. We need a couple more calls this break to make our 10-call goal for this break, and it'll only take a couple of quick seconds of your time to call, and you won't miss a thing from the Civil War. We're not delaying the program. We aren't cutting into it, so we hope that you'll take this time to call in your pledge for public television. 1-800-922-4220 will connect you with one of these volunteers from Washington Water Power. The phones are almost quiet at the moment, and we hope that you'll take advantage of that to call in your support. We have read names on the air. You don't have to have your name read on the air. If you're a little shy about that, that's okay. If you haven't heard your name, though, or if you haven't heard your city, there's a way to fix that. All you have to do is call us up and pledge your support. This programming is an expensive proposition each year. I'm the fellow who has to figure out a way to pay the bills in the end. And programming budget here at Northwest Public Television is several $100,000, of which yours is a very important part. So please take this time to pledge your support and make public television happen here in southeastern Washington and the adjoining areas of Idaho and Oregon. It only takes a minute. Let's toss it over to Barbara here, and she can tell you a little bit more.
Well, I had a chance to look over at the phones and tally up the pledges, and we need to hear from, I think, 2 more of you to help us make our goal of 10 pledges this break. So 2 more. Come on, let's hear. You be the next person. Call in and pledge your support. Say hello to the volunteers. Thank them, and let them thank you for taking the time to make a financial commitment to your public TV station. It doesn't take very long. If you have the extra time, let us hear from you about some of your comments about our program, something you'd like to see, something you saw maybe a few years ago, and maybe we can look into it and find it for you. I'd also like to tell you that tonight's programming is made possible in part by United Artists Cable of Tri-Cities, featuring 45 channels of news, sports, and entertainment. It's a partnership here. Businesses, state and federal agencies, and you're an important part here at Northwest Public Television. So go to your phone right now and give us a call. Do your part for the Civil War on Northwest Public TV. Let's hear from you right now.
Hi, I'm Jean Smart. Public television is just as valuable to the community as our libraries, schools, museums, and concert halls. And it's not television for the elite. It's television for people. And if people don't use it, don't take advantage of its wealth, the fault belongs to them. One of the wonderful things about public television is that no one with the desire to learn and grow is ever turned away for lack of money. Free access is the hallmark of public television. And it's the voluntary support of viewers who are able to pay, that makes it work for everyone. Remember, your pledge shares the wealth of public television with the whole community, and that increases the value of your gift 1,000 times over.
Public television is a gift to your community, and you help bring public television into your community, into your household, all year long by making a donation. So why don't you take the time right now? Just a couple of minutes more, we'll be going back to the conclusion of this episode of the Civil War. You're not missing any of it. You have the time now to call in and pledge your support. 1-800-922-4220. This is a pledge drive. You're letting us know how much you want to commit throughout the next few months and how you want to fit that pledge into your budget. So we need to hear from you right now. We have some special thank you gifts. If you want any of these, please let the volunteers know when you call us at the toll-free number you see on your screen right now. For $150, we have the Civil War book. This is the companion book to the Civil War TV series that you're watching right now. It's a great, big, beautiful book that we've been enjoying looking at, some of us in the studio here throughout this evening. It is hardcover, 450 pages. It has more than 500 black and white and color illustration, maps, engravings, paintings, things from all. They search the archives throughout the country to get information for the Civil War that they put in this book. And the producers of the TV series did participate in producing this book. So if you would like that, give us a call, make a $150 level donation, and say, yeah, send me one of those Civil War books. Now, for $100, we have a VHS tape. This is called Touring the Civil War Sites. And this, through the magic of videotape, you go back and visit some of the sites of famous battles, Gettysburg, Fredericksburg, Bull Run, Antietam. You can see reenactments of some of those battles, as well as the way that those parks look now, very lush and green and rather quiet compared to the way you're seeing them here on this public TV series. It's a special thank you for the $100 level. It's a way that maybe you can visit some of those parks if you may never get a chance to. That's $100. Now, for everyone that charges their pledge, we'll be glad to send you a copy of the Sullivan-Ballou letter that you have heard and seen on the Civil War series. It's the copy of the letter on 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. It looks kind of like parchment, and it's a copy in a beautiful writing of Sullivan-Ballou's letter to his wife, Sarah. Beautiful words. You can read them over and over again. That's for everyone that charges their pledge tonight to Northwest Public Television. Let's hear from you right now at 1-800-922-4220. Welcome to Northwest Public Television. We've completed a wonderful night 2 of the Civil War here on Northwest Public Television. We'll be back tomorrow night beginning at 7. But we're asking you to take the opportunity right now to call in and pledge your support to Northwest Public Television. Make a financial contribution right now. Get your part taken care of during our spring membership drive. Don't wait any longer. Call right now. The toll-free number is on the screen. It's 1-800-922-4220. Give us a call right now. Thank you. We need to hear from 9 more of you to help us meet our goal of 10 pledges this break. We'll be going to Vietnam and television history in a few minutes, so you won't miss any programs. You can stick around and watch that if you would like to. But before that, why don't you call us and make a financial donation right now to Northwest Public Television. 1-800-922-4220. If you do, we have some special thank yous at certain giving levels, and if you want any of these as a special thank you from us, in addition to the great programs, let the volunteers know. For $150, we have a book called The Civil War, an illustrated history. It was put together with the producers of the PBS series. It's a companion volume to the public TV series. There are more than 500 black and white and color illustration, maps, engravings, photographs. They went to over 150 archives across the country. It's a beautiful big hardcover book, 450 pages. It's 9.5 inches by 11 3/8 inches. They give very precise sizes. It's a beautiful book, though. We'd like to send that to you as a thank you for a $150 level gift right now. Why don't you call, put that on your MasterCard or Visa, or pay it off over the next 3 or 4 months, and let us say thank you with the book to go along with the beautiful, wonderful, really enlightening public television series. Now, for $100, we have another item. It's a videotape touring Civil War battlefields. It's a way to go visit some of the battlefields back east. These includes visits to Bull Run, Antietam, Fredericksburg, and Gettysburg. There are some reenactments in this, as well as some visiting just the way the sites look now if you were to drive up there in the car and walk around. And these enactments go on every summer, and back east people participate and get a chance to be a Confederate officer that dies the second day of a battle or something, and that's what these are based on. There's some of that, as well as seeing what the sites look like now. That's a special thank you from us at $100. If you would like that, let us know when you call in and make a pledge right now to Northwest Public Television. And for everyone that charges their pledge tonight to Northwest Public Television, we'll be glad to send you the Sullivan-Ballou letter. This is a copy of the letter that Sullivan-Ballou wrote his wife, Sarah, telling her how much he loved her and how much he hoped that they would grow old together and see their sons grow old, and he was killed in the Civil War. It's quite a lovely letter, and on the front of it is a little notation from Ken Burns talking about when he discovered it and how much it meant to him. If you want any of those thank yous, please call us right now at 1-800-922-4220 and let us mention your name on the air. We do have Dennis Harsager here to tell us some people that have called in already this evening. Dennis?
Well, I have a real happy job, and that's to thank a few people who called in their pledges. First of all, we don't automatically put your name on the air if you don't want us to. And some folks from Richland and Connell and Walla Walla and Kennewick all chose not to, and that's just fine, but thank you anyway. Ray Anderson from Cloverland near Asotin called in, Nancy Kiefer from Albion, Christopher Clough from Clarkston, Ken Jocks also from Clarkston, Gable Connor from Lewiston, Herbert Eschleman from Kennewick, and Lyle Wilhelmi from Richland. I have a difficult name myself, so if I'd mispronounced yours, I'm sorry. I just do it once in a while. I hear it once in a while on my own. Please give us a call, though, and give me a chance to mess up your name. 1-800-922-4220. Call us and pledge your support. Advantage of Ken Burns' advice by calling us at 1-800-422-922-4220. You'd think I'd remember that after all these times. It's not happened doesn't happen to be hanging on this camera. But give us a call at that number and pledge your support. We need 5 more calls at least in this break to make our goal for the evening. We have a special coming up on the Vietnam War. So if you're a history buff, this is the week for you here on Northwest Public Television. Give us a call and pledge your support. One of the ways that we have to make your pledge worth more money is we've worked out several arrangements with companies like GTE and Westinghouse and Albertsons who have employees in our coverage area. They will match your contribution. There's some special forms that you can fill out with your payroll office, and it'll make it possible to double your gift in many cases to Northwest Public Television. So in addition to feeling good about what you give, you can feel good about getting a little bit of money out of the company also to help us defray our programming costs. We do pledge drives not because it's easy. It's a lot of work putting these on, and it's a lot of work for you to watch them, I know. But we put these on because you're an important part of the equation in bringing programming to you. Frankly, programming is the variable cost at any public broadcasting station. You need to have electricity for the transmitter, and you need to have tubes, and you need to have paper for the teletype machine to bring us the information from PBS. But what is variable is how many programs we buy. The more you contribute, the more programs we can buy, and that's the one thing that we need to get across. That's our message as straight as we can put it this evening. You're an important part of the equation, so please call this number and pledge your support for public television. Barbara here has a little bit more information on how to pledge.
It's very easy. We have a couple of phone lines open. You can dial in at 1-800-922-4220 and pledge your support. Pledge at whatever level you can afford and that you feel is appropriate in your budget. But the important thing is call now. As Dennis says, your dollars help us be the best station we can be for you and buy the best programming for you. So let's hear from you right now. It is a partnership. We do receive support from federal and state dollars and businesses. And tonight's programming is made possible in part by United Artists Cable in the Tri-Cities, featuring 45 channels of sports, entertainment, and news programming. That's a service brought to you by business. We also have Pizza Haven that donated really yummy pizzas for the volunteers here this evening to keep us energized throughout this drive. Those businesses help. The phone bank here this evening from Washington Water Power has come to show their support by giving up an evening to take your calls and your pledges and your comments. So call them up and thank them, and call now, like it says on your screen. That's the important thing. Is don't wait any longer. Don't wait for anybody else to do what you should be doing right now for your public TV station. We need your support right now. The dollars go in to help us buy programs and pay our programming bills. So let's hear from you right now. You can call. We'll be here for the next few minutes to take your pledge. And come back again tomorrow night for another installment of the Civil War at 7 o'clock here on Northwest Public Television, your public TV station. Thanks so much to those of you that have called in this evening. We appreciate your support. Thank you.
If you prefer to mail in your pledge, our address is Northwest Public Television, 100 Sprout Road, Richland, Washington, 99352. Your investment in North